Thanks again for renting our trailer. This little video is going to show you how to use some of the main systems on the inside of the trailer. This is assuming that you've got the trailer all leveled already and that it's off the hitch from your vehicle. So let's jump into it. So right when you walk in the door here to the right, you're going to have the main control panel. And on this panel, it's going to control a lot of the different systems of the trailer. The first one here is we're going to have the interior lights. We're going to have, flip that, they turn on like so. You have these little puck lights, which can be controlled individually. So you can turn them off and on or leave them all on and control all of them from the switch. You have the porch light on the outside. The awning light has a big long strip LED, which is pretty cool. Then you have your slider, which we'll show you in a second, and the awning extension. Next up, we're going to have the thermostat. To turn the thermostat on, I'm going to hold down the power button, and then I can cycle through cool, heat, fan, and dry, which it just sucks some moisture out of the air. So if I wanted to do cool, then I could adjust the cool temperature, say to 78. And if this is plugged into power or I'm on generator power, then the AC is going to kick on and start to cool the trailer. Next to that, we have the Bluetooth controls. I can power on the Bluetooth. There's speakers A and B. I can turn them both on. You hear that say Bluetooth mode. A is on the inside, B is on the outside. If I want to sync, I push the Bluetooth button. I can sync it to a phone or a device, and then I can turn them off or on the inside or the outside. Lastly, we have the solar power panel. This is going to show the solar power into the battery. This is really going to usually stay completely full, so you can run your power at night. This is going to run the fridge, all of your main systems. The only things that don't run off of the batteries are going to be your AC unit and your microwave. So you need to rent the generators or be on like a powered campsite to run those whenever you want. All right, so now I just want to show you how to pull the slider in and out. We have the slider button right here. You'll notice that the slider's in, and if I push the button to the out position, this is going to start to move, and you just want to hold this button down while it slowly goes out. Once again, this is after you've leveled the trailer, and you'll notice at the bottom of the floor there's a little flap here. This is going to go, once the slider gets out, this little flap is going to cover up the road. You hear that little clicking. That little clicking's not bad. Totally fine to have the clicking. That just shows you that it's at the end and extended as far as it can go. And then if you look down there at the floor, it's not going to be perfectly level because of just the way that these units work, but pretty darn close. And you can put the rug out after that and enjoy. Another thing to note is that throughout the trailer, you're going to have these plugs. If you're at a campsite with power and you're plugged in, you're going to have that continuous power. You can run all of your 120 volt plugs. If not, you see below, there's always going to be a USB and a USB-C that runs off of the batteries. So you can charge your phones and devices at any time off of that battery, and those are scattered throughout the trailer. In the bedroom, you're going to have more of those plugs down below with the USB-Cs. And then back behind the shelf, there's some embedded shelves, like a cup holder if you want to have a drink at night. Up above, we have plenty of baskets. And then you have the little closets and storage down below for any of your shoes or whatever else clothes you need to store. The fridge is run off of the battery, so you don't really have to do anything with it. We'll get this running before your trip so everything's cold, but it's a nice large size so that you can fit all of your food and get some ice cream or treats in the freezer, some extra ice if you need it, but nothing you're going to have to worry about on your trip with turning that off and on. At the kitchenette here, you have the gas-powered stove. These have the ignitions in them, so as long as your propane's turned on, you just turn this, you're going to hear the click, and you're going to start the burner up there. Down below, we have the fuse panel. You just push on the panel button, open it up, and there's your circuit breakers and your fuses. We'll have extra fuses in case something burns out, but I've never really had anything burn out. And then up above is your microwave, and you also have your vent. If you are going to vent, you have to make sure the vent panel outside is popped open or the air won't circulate properly, but there is a light, there's a fan on that enjoy. Cutting board also here and can go on top of the sink. The other main control panel that you're going to find is here in the bathroom on the side by the toilet, and we'll run through those real quick. So we're going to see a couple things here on the panel. The first one is if you're going colder season, you can actually heat your fresh water tank, your gray tank, and your black tank. Your gray being your disposed water like in your shower and your sink, and your black being your sewage. So you can keep those warm so it doesn't freeze up and hurt the pipes in the system. Next up, we have the water pump and the water heater. You'll hear that beeping sound, and that turns on this little panel right here. And what this is we have a continuous water heater in the trailer. So you want to keep this around 98 to 100 degrees. But once you start running the water, it's going to heat the water as it runs through the pipes, but you have to have continuous flow. So once I get that running, you're going to see a little flame come up here that shows that that's heating up. And if you're getting ready to get in the shower, you can just turn the water on. You'll feel it start to get warm. But if you turn the water off, it'll stop the heating, and then it'll take a second to heat it up again. So if you're going to get going, we say you should get going and take your full shower. Next up is your system's levels. So you have your battery, your fresh tank, your black, and your gray. And if I push the battery button here, I can see these 4 lights light up to show that I'm full battery. I have 0 fresh water in now, though we can fill it up before your trip, or you can fill it up on the road. No black because the tank's empty, and no gray. So all of those are on E. And one of the last systems, if you are hooked up to power or hooked up to the generators, we do have a vacuum system down here. So you can sweep debris and dirt up to that panel and plop it up, and it will suck it into a bag or a container. And then also next to the fridge in the compartment by the floor, there's some hoses if you want to hook a hose into this, and you can straight vacuum like that. So what I'm going to do is when I'm getting set up, I'm going to undo the strap that holds these in. Make sure that you have the stools strapped in when you're in transit. But we have this extendable table right here, and I just come and I slightly lift it up. I don't want to go too high, and you'll hear that rolling sound. And as I pull these panels out, they extend, and you can make a table. And then all you do is pop up the top here, and there's a little bar you press upwards towards you, and it locks in. And now you have the table, and it's ready to go. We just did a trip a couple weeks ago, and this was really fun. We had a rainy day. We played a bunch of board games and card games in here in the trailer with some friends. And that's pretty much it for your inside trailer systems. We hope you have a wonderful trip. Give me a call or a text if you have any troubles with anything, and we'll get back to you ASAP. But have a wonderful time.